Please patiently watch this video.
The Yoruba demon single guy is the one that he comes into a wedding looking like $1 million.
Yeah.
And every girl has their eyes on him. He's going to take all their numbers. Yes.
They don't even want to know how to
the one that I know, somebody that
he will have 10 of them as girlfriends.
The somebody close to me was still, as in he was still toasting a friend of mine. Toasting, only for us to hear that the next week was his wedding.
Imagine.
And he was promising that girl that I will marry you. You are the one I want. He had printed invitation card.
Imagine.
And the girl was telling me, considering it, you were getting married the next week. So that for me
that's
is
our definition of the Yoruba.
I wanted to say one.
But Yoruba demon you're talking about is different. You're talking about the married one and the single one.
They are still the ones that get married at the end of the day. So they bring in that demoness into the marriage.
I'm an Igbo woman. And trust me, if you give me an opportunity, is a Yoruba man or nothing?
Explain.
You are saying. We know our men. All those scared that people are seeing outside, stories that touch the heart. It's not as if they don't give you money, but we're talking about respect. A culture that look at women like tools in the house. Yes. Yoruba come, you people overexposure the worry owner. You can't give me money and not have respect for me. You can't give me money and my in-laws won't let me have peace. You can't give me money and when you die, I go through all kinds of hurdles. You drink dead man's water. You go through all of this rubbish. See, money is not everything. Every day and every time, even with my...
Can you hear that?
That's the old generation. It's the old generation. Please, let's go. She's there.
I am not saying this thing is general to everybody. There might be a few exceptions. But trust me,
Okay, true.
Thank you very much, Miriam.
She touched on a very, very important point, which is what I was going to say, that Yoruba men culturally are brought up with strong women. They see their women have shops, their mothers have 3, 4, 5 businesses, having a lot of money. So they see, and that helps in the respect of women. They don't see women as a thing or object. They see women as full-grown person that can make as much money or more than me.
Anytime you hear people say, I am an Igbo woman, but just know one thing. It is either that person was raised in Lagos or they are not even Igbo at all. How can an Igbo woman make such a statement? The most respected deity in Igbo land is Ani, Allah, Anna, or Eli, as some people want to call it. That is the Mother Earth.
Igbo women who historically have been strong, have been valued. Igbo women like the Omu, whose boats led expeditions in pre-colonial times. Igbo women like the female king in Enugu Ezike. Igbo women who participated in the Aba Women's Riot in Women's Rebellion in 1929. Igbo women who through centuries have traded and shown initiative.
Aside from this, in Igbo culture, even when a woman is married, she retains her father's name. In death, she is returned back to her father's house for interment. When an in-law dies, the man takes drinks to the family of the woman to go and pay condolence. When a man's father dies, the people of the wife do not even bring drink. Most aspects of Igbo culture pay strong respect to the woman. Everything in Igbo land respects the woman. Where there is Obi, there is Omu. Where there is Diokbala, there is Ada. The role of an Ada cannot be replaced by Diokbala. Whatsoever is in the jurisdiction of Ada is left for the Ada to adjudicate. The Igbo culture pays strong respect to womanhood. Hence the name Neka, Igbo Neka. That is the reason why you will see people bear the name Neka. There is no better way to illustrate this than the way Professor Chinua Achebe himself read it out in his famous book, Things Fall Apart. We also earlier heard from our sister, Professor Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, reeling out the roles of an Igbo woman in the Igbo traditional society. These women who go on TV or radio stations to denigrate the Igbo culture as misogynistic, I wonder which aspect or which part of Igbo land they were raised.
We all know that a man is the head of the family, and his wives do his bidding. A child belongs to its father and his family, not to his mother and her family. A man belongs to his fatherland, not his motherland. And yet, we say Neka, mother is supreme. Why is that? There was silence. I want Okonkwo to answer me, said Uchendo. I'm an old man. You are all children. I know more about the world than any of you. If there's anyone among you who thinks he knows more, let him speak up. He paused, but no one spoke. Why is Okonkwo with us today? This is not his clan. We are only his mother's kinsmen. He does not belong here. He's an exile, condemned for 7 years to live in a strange land. So he is bowed with grief. But there is one question I would like to ask him. Can you tell me, Okonkwo, why it is that one of the commonest names we give our children is Neka, or Mother is Supreme? We all know that a man is the head of the family, and his wives do his bidding. A child belongs to its father and his family, not to his mother and her family. A man belongs to his fatherland, not his motherland. And yet, we say Neka, mother is supreme. Why is that? There was silence. I want Okonkwo to answer me, said Uchendo. I do not know the answer, Okonkwo replied. You do not know the answer? So you see, you are a child. You have many wives and many children, more children than I have. You are a great man in your clan, but you are still a child. My child. Listen to me and I shall tell you. But first, there's one more question I shall ask you. Why is it that when a woman dies, she is taken home to be buried with her own kinsmen? She is not buried with her husband's kinsmen. Why is that? Your mother was brought home to me here and buried with my people. Why was that? Okonkwo shook his head. He does not know that either, said Uchendo. And yet he is full of sorrow because he has come to live in his motherland for a few years. He laughed a mirthless laughter and turned to his sons and daughters. What about you? Can anyone answer the question? They all shook their heads. And listen to me, he said, and cleared his throat. It's true that a child belongs to his father. But when a father beats his child, it seeks sympathy in its mother's heart. A man belongs to his fatherland when things are good and life is sweet. But when there is sorrow and bitterness, he finds refuge in his motherland. Your mother is there to protect you. She is buried there. And that is why we say that mother is supreme. Is it right that you, Okonkwo, should bring to your mother a heavy face and refuse to be comforted? Be careful, or you may displease the dead. Your duty is to comfort your wives and children and take them back to your fatherland after 7 years. But if you allow sorrow to weigh you down and kill you, they will all die in exile. He paused for a long while. These are now your kinsmen. He waved at his sons and daughters.